Hello and welcome to my channel. I am painting a hidden beach cove today. It's a little mini canvas, but let's get right into it. So first I start with this grayish color and this very desaturated blue because I was going to paint this little town on a hill that leads down into, I don't know if it was a beach, a cove, or like, I think it was a city, but so I'm going to be changing it up. But I add some darker blue in the back to kind of emulate where I want the other buildings to go. I'm adding some color to flesh out the sky. I'm adding in some buildings. I struggled a lot with finding the right colors. Then I go and add some yellow tone to the sidewalk to kind of take the blue away a little bit. I'm adding some color onto the road to give it some dimension. Then I go in and I add some flora, or just some, bushes. I go in with this really dark color because it's easier for me to just add up color sometimes. And then in the reference photo, there was like these stone walls and a house, and perspective is like really off. So, I do go back and fix it all. For some reason, I lighten up the sidewalks again. And see, I'm trying to flesh out the buildings. I'm not really going to explain too much on that because they do end up disappearing and there's really no purpose for those. You can see how much work I put into these sidewalks that I'm not going to use. And I think there's too much yellow in the sky, so I go to add pink and orange. Next I paint on the little street stripes using a brown color. But against the dark gray, it looks a little like yellow, like a fairy yellow. So. As you can see right here, I'm struggling to paint little automobiles. See, this part of the painting kind of felt like, those really big puzzles and they have really complicated places and you can't really tell, like, what the tire goes to because there's like 50 different cars and like a windowsill that matches every single building. That's kind of what it felt like, and that's why I made the decision after a while to paint over it. Looking at it here, I think maybe I should have like taken the houses out and like left that because it kind of looks like green water and like a boat in the distance and like an island, and that's kind of cute. I'm trying to add texture and dimension to this little house, but it's just really not going well. Maybe I'll try to have redemption for that photo one day. I really love how I painted the buildings so much smaller than the cars. It feels like it's just very silly. But I didn't want to paint buildings. I want to paint the picture, but not really the things in it. And that's something you gotta watch out for. If you don't want to paint the things in it and you know it's going to take a while, you might not really end up wanting to do it, or you might get frustrated. It's good to try new things, but I think this was like my second or third painting of the day, where I was actually balancing it between the painting that you see in the top and another painting on a rock. So I was just very trying to rush through things. I go in with a very, very pastel pink along the edges of like the trees far, far out in the distance. Add a little more shadow to the foliage on the left. And I give the road some texture with this really cool brush that I use so often. I have no idea what it's actually called, but it's a 3/8 inch 16mm Moderna M77FW by Royal and Langnickel. Then I cover up the house and I add a little peach. I use this beautiful crystal blue color that I love using for beaches. I use kind of like a whitish color with like maybe a little bit of yellow and pink for the sand, and I go back and I add some more texture to the foliage with a light green. Maybe it was just like a little bit of yellow. I give some shadows to the trees in the back with a darker blue. I add some yellow to the sky, and then I add a little bit more water because I don't really like the layout and how the shapes were going with each other. I add some white caps to the waves to give the ocean some texture, because it is the focal point now. I take this very like lime yellow green to the foliage to really give it that like edge glow. And I kind of figure out where I want to put the sun, and then I start to add more highlights based on that position. Like I really know where to add like reflections on the water and a little bit of yellow lighting now. Then I really start to remove the buildings and add foliage on the left side as well, which I don't really capture that well. But here is the finished piece. It is so rich and full of color, and I just love it. Please tune in next time if you're interested in seeing more of my art. I try to post weekly. I had so much fun with this piece, and thank you for watching. Bye!